Good afternoon, 5th and 6th grade. This is your history video for Thursday, March 25th. One more day left in the third quarter, and then we start the last quarter of the year. Can you believe it's gone by so quickly? And we are going to be doing today work text pages 180 and 181. So if you look at that really quickly, you have basically the rest of the features of the civilization of the Aztecs, which are written there on the back of 180 on the front of 181. Now tomorrow it says, if I'm not mistaken, it says the wrong page numbers, or maybe it does say the right page numbers. No, it should be 182 and 183 for your page numbers for tomorrow. So as you watch this video, go ahead and make that change in there. Those are the last two that are study guide. We'll be having a quiz tomorrow, and then we'll also be having a quiz on Monday, and then we'll have a test on Tuesday, all on this chapter number 11 on Mesoamerica. So here, let's go ahead and get started on page 250. The Aztecs. By the 1400s, people in the area known today as Mexico had become an advanced society known as the Aztec civilization. They had developed a complete language along with some significant technological advances. According to legend, the Aztecs believed the sun god would lead them to a place where they would settle and build a city. The Aztecs eventually settled on a swampy island in Lake Texcoco. Rather than be discouraged by this location, the Aztecs accepted it as the ideal location for them and built one of the largest cities in the world at that time. The Aztecs began building their unusual city on two small islands on the lake. The city was called Tenochtitlan. Part of modern Mexico City is built on the land where Tenochtitlan existed. The Aztecs created additional garden islands called Chinampas. The Aztecs made strategic causeways to connect the islands to the mainland. Specially designed canals separated fresh water from salt water. Canoes could easily travel in these canals. The Aztecs were a united people. As their population grew, they formed alliances with neighboring city-states. As their military power grew, they began to conquer peoples in the surrounding areas. As early as the beginning of the 1500s, Tenochtitlan dominated all other cities. Its power was feared, and its splendor was well known. At one point, this city had a population of about 200,000 people. There was an abundance of religious buildings and activities. The Templo Mayor was the primary location for religious ceremonies and rituals. Aztec religion, on page 251. The religion of the Aztecs ruled every aspect of their lives. Before making decisions about anything, the Aztecs considered the religious significance. A diviner was consulted before naming a child to see which name would align with the child's fate. The religious calendar was consulted before scheduling events. Aztecs performed rituals and ceremonies for the hundreds of gods they worshipped. Aztecs believed the gods sacrificed themselves to create people in the world. Because of this belief, they attempted to repay the gods with human sacrifice and blood offerings. The Aztecs believed the sun god had a tremendous appetite for blood and human hearts. They needed to constantly appease him, or the very existence of their world was at risk. Some historians believe the Aztecs may have sacrificed thousands of people each year. In war, their objective was not merely to gain territory or kill the enemy, but to capture prisoners to sacrifice. Hernando Cortés, a Spanish conquistador, arrived at Tenochtitlan in 1519. Cortés and his army were horrified by the extent of human sacrifices. Human sacrifice in religion demonstrates how sinful people can distort the truth into extreme acts of wickedness, not witnesses. Mesoamerican beliefs, there on the bottom left, it says Mesoamerican beliefs and believed in many gods. Some of these gods were local deities who ensured that crops grew or that other parts of daily life went well. Other gods were more powerful. Like the gods of other ancient civilizations, these gods were not necessarily good beings. Both the Mayas and the Aztecs believed that previous worlds had existed and been destroyed. The Aztecs believed the creator god of this world destroyed a previous world. Blood sacrifices were necessary for people to preserve the world from destruction. Sometimes blood sacrifices involved wounding a person so that his or her blood could be used. Other times, the sacrifice involved killing a person. These human sacrifices may have been the result of a distorted truth about the necessity of a blood sacrifice to God. But the true God firmly rejected the sacrifice of humans. Each person is precious to God, and the death of one sinner cannot atone for another. Only Jesus, who was completely sinless, could be an effective sacrifice for the sins of all people. How do they know? Many Christians wonder about what happens to people who never hear the gospel. For example, the ancient Mesoamericans were thousands of miles from any other civilization, and they followed false beliefs. What happened to them when they died? The Bible teaches that all people who do not worship the one true God will experience eternal condemnation. God has revealed himself to all people through nature and through his image in each person. This revelation communicates God's existence and moral character, but it is insufficient for salvation. It provides enough information to make people accountable for doing evil when they know to do good. Romans 2:15 states that the law is written in their hearts. This statement means that their conscience lets them know when they violate God's law. Every culture in the world has chosen to violate God's law. Christians must take the gospel to every culture on earth. The gospel provides people with the hope that they can know God and worship God. Through the gospel, God shows his power to bring salvation to people. Next page, social classes. The social classes of the Aztecs were similar to other Mesoamerican civilizations. The nobility lived in brick or stone homes, while the common people lived in homes made of interwoven twigs and mud. Tenochtitlan and the Aztec Empire had the same ruler. All other governing officials were expected to pay tribute to the supreme ruler. Excuse me. All right. As in the Mayan society, he was considered to be a descendant of the gods. Also, as in the Mayan society, Aztec nobles, warriors, and priests were responsible for supporting the ruler. The common people, which included artisans, soldiers, laborers, farmers, and merchants, were expected to support the nobles. Women worked hard at home, where they were expected to take care of their families. Commoners had little opportunity to change their lives and leave their social classes. Economy. The Aztec culture was built on hard work by everyone. Citizens were expected to help in the building of dikes, temples, roads, and aqueducts. The Aztec economy was specialized and highly structured. A variety of goods were produced within the Aztec Empire. These included tools, pottery, figurines, jewelry, cloth, and baskets. Let's make figurines your secret word. The goods were sometimes made specifically for the ruler, and sometimes they were made to be sold in the local markets. As in other Mesoamerican civilizations, farming was important for the Aztec people. Trade occurred along the lowlands of the Gulf Coast. The Aztecs sought goods such as gold ornaments, salt, and garments made of fine cloth. In return, the Aztecs offered goods such as jaguar skins, tropical bird feathers, rubber, cotton, and cacao beans. Language and technology. The development of the written language played an important role in the Aztec civilization. Like the Mayas, the Aztecs used hieroglyphics to represent their spoken language. This written language was used while conducting business and trade. They also recorded their customs and beliefs to be passed on to future generations. This unified, my yawning, that's what it unified. They unified their culture for many years. The knowledge gained from contact with the Mayas helped the Aztecs develop their own technology. The Aztec number system and knowledge of the solar system were very advanced compared to other cultures of that time. They developed many forms of helpful medicines, such as ointments and tonics. The Aztecs did not have access to iron or bronze, but still made excellent tools and weapons. These included drills made of reeds or bones. The Aztecs did not have horses, mules, or other animals to carry trade goods. They made dugout canoes for travel through the many canals, lakes, and waterways found around the Valley of Mexico. Look at the warriors there. If you were in a fight, would you want to fight the guy that looked like some eagle or some kind of looks like a jaguar or something like that he's dressed as? But the Aztec warriors began training at an early age. By going to war, they believed that they were showing service and respect to the gods. Men were expected to prove their worth on the battlefield. As warriors, they were to be brave and noble. The bravest Aztec warriors achieved the rank of jaguar warrior or eagle warrior. They were the most feared of all the Aztec warriors. Most Aztec weapons were designed to stun and capture enemies rather than to kill them. This way, the captured enemy could walk and not have to be carried to the temple to be sacrificed. All right, got 2 more pages to do. This is the last of it. You know what? Let's do this instead. Let's save these 2 pages if you wanted to go ahead and read them on your own tomorrow. But I'll do another video for tomorrow with these 2 pages in them. And then we'll read those together about Montezuma II and Montezuma II and the fate of the Mesoamericans, what happened to them later. All right, so we'll do that. Have a good day. Hopefully you caught the secret word. Not sure if you did or not. See you later. Bye.